Hello again, everyone. Well, I'm back from my cruise to Iceland and Norway and France. It should have been to Ireland as well, but unfortunately the weather was too bad to get into Belfast, so that part of the trip was cancelled, but we had a brilliant time. So I thought on my return I would try to make some cards inspired by some of the things I saw, some of the gifts I bought while I was away. The first one are these Icelandic socks. A friend of mine who has recently visited Iceland said the socks are amazing. So I bought socks for friends. So there's the distinctive patterns on these socks. I don't want to undo them because they are going to be a gift, but you can see there's the lines of ziggy-zaggy things and the flowery things that come into a lot of Scandinavian type designs. And I remembered that I had this Sizzix set of dies that have got just the right kind of things to do the socks. So what I thought I would do is to make a Christmas card, and I dug out, I think this is Memory Box, an old Christmas stocking die, a little teddy from Gummy Pan, so we can look at the top of the stocking, and these dies that I've just mentioned from Sizzix. So I cut out this one, which is the sort of floral one. You probably see it better there. And I cut out this one, which is that one. But instead of using the die to make the negative form like this, which is what you would very often do probably, I used a couple of the ziggy-zaggy bits that went inside. So let me just show you what I did. Okay. I haven't quite finished this card because I thought I would do the process up to this point and then just finish it off. So here's the stocking that I made with a little teddy sticking out of the top. And what I thought I would do is just to put it, this is a piece of double-sided adhesive which I'm going to put on the back of there to attach to the front panel, and then this little chap's going to be kind of hanging on there. And I'll finish all that later, but what I want to do is to show you how I went about doing the stocking. I did this one from a piece of plain red card. I just die cut it from a piece of plain red card, but I did wonder whether it might be better if I did it from white card and coloured it. On this one, I did use just a little grey alcohol marker around the edge and then sort of blended it in a bit just to give a bit of shading to it. But I think if I do a coloured one with markers, I may get some of that effect. I probably have to go over the white bit that I stick on with a bit of shading, but we'll see. So I'll just colour this one and see the effect. Now this morning I had to fill up my two Copic pens that I use for mainly for red, and I don't know, this one the alcohol refill goes in quite easily. This one I don't know, the nozzle seems wider and a lot of it comes out. I've had to clean myself up. You can see the evidence is still in position. Right, let's just have a go at this. I'm going to use some of the darker one just around the edge. Oh, it looks like it's worked quite nicely now. It's filled. This is the one that was easy to fill, actually. Put a bit round the edge. Now I'll put some in the middle. This is the one that was harder to fill. So let's just blend it in a bit if we can. I still think it needs some time to transfuse down. Let's see, this side is a bit more juicy. Okay. It doesn't have to be absolutely smoothly blended, it's just a bit of effect. There we go. Now let's just compare the two, see what we think. Put them on this white here. See? It's just got a bit more life. We'll see. I'll do this one this time, just to make a change, to make it different. So the panel that I cut out with the sort of flowery bits, I thought I would use here on the top of the stocking. The ziggy-zaggy bit, I used one bit for across the toe, like that. And I used the straight bit just for below the flowers, just so that it's got not a straight line. I cut two tops, the top one of which, and I don't suppose you can see this really well, I embossed with this Sizzix embossing folder. What's it called? Doesn't say. China, it says. Doesn't give it a name. Why don't they put the name on? If they put China on, you think they could put the name on, couldn't you? But I think it's supposed to be like sort of a skinny or a leathery sort of finish. But I just thought it would just give a little bit of texture to stop that bit from looking absolutely flat. I have also found this one, which is kind of a bubbly thing. I thought it might look a bit like bobbly fur. This is an old Cuttlebug one. And I thought I'd try one of these in this, just to see if that makes a better top to the stocking than the other one. But, you know, we'll see. We will see. Okay, let me just get these things out of the way a little minute. So the first thing we're going to do is to stick one of these on. I have got some. These were left over from the other one, so I could perhaps use one of these, which is already cut down a bit. Now, on my mat here, you can't see it very well, I have put a little of this white glue, just a little white glue, school glue, PVA, whatever you care to call it. And with a little sponge, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to dab the back of this piece of die cut to stick it on. Okay, let's, a little bit there I need to get rid of. There we go. Oh, actually, it's a little bit of, I thought it was a bit of glue, but it's actually a little bit of die cut. Okay, let's just stick this onto there. Okay. These. There we go. Now I'm just going to cut off the excess from the sides. Let's do it with these sharp scissors. I do it from this side so I get just the exact edge. There we go. So there is that bit of design. Now there's a little bit of this, which is from this other long one. Now I find this difficult to see. That's the right side, so we'll just put a little bit on the wrong side. And then we can stick that on there and cut that off. There we go. There we are. Just going to dab it again with a baby wipe. Okay, I think we're all right. The difficulty with this, of course, is having glue go where you don't want it. Okay, now then, as for the top of the stocking, let's emboss. Oh, we've got one in there already. Let me just try and emboss this. Right. I actually don't like that very much. No, I don't like that one very much. I think that's too bobbly. I'm going to go back to using this one. So I'll do it on this one and that one can go behind. So always difficult with these 3D jobs to find the right sandwich for them. Okay. There we go. These Sizzix ones are particularly meaty. They're so thick. So what I use for that is just my base. This is a Platinum 6, the base plate, and 1C cutting plate, and that seems to do the trick. So there you can see that texture on there, and I think you agree. I don't know if you can see the difference, in fact, but this is much more subtle. Just gives a little bit of, yeah, just gives a little bit of movement to that. Look, almost like it's a, you know, furry bit or something. Okay, now I'm going to put the front one onto just there. Okay, again, I use my bit of glue. I'm gluing all over because actually I'm going to stick that one to the back of it. Do I want it on the red? Yeah, I think that's better. Let's stick it up a bit onto the red. That's why I left a little gap, in fact, so might as well use it, Christine. And this one is going to go on the back of here. Okay. There we are. Just, it's encasing the bottom of the stocking. We're getting there. We are getting there. Now, a little bit for across the toe, across there. Let's just put a bit onto this. Right. Oopsie daisy. Stick it onto there. There we are. And we'll cut off the excess. So a bit of that will do for some more. We're getting there. We are getting there. I'm just going to use a little bit of feather grey just down the edge of here, just to shade it just a little, because the white is a bit stark. A bit round the edge here. Use a blender just to smooth that out a little bit. There we go. I'm going to be putting a piece of double foam tape down the middle to keep this in its shape. This is just a blender pen. That looks a bit dirty actually, but what I may do is to pop another bit on the top if I don't like it. In fact, I'm going to do it. Let me do it. There's always a way, isn't there? If you don't like what you're doing, just do something else. Feeling slightly wheezy this morning. Don't know why that is. Right, platform top, cutting plate, and my piece of dye. There we go. And we'll do another bit of embossing, because I do like the embossing. Okay. I think that bit of dirty mark there came off my fingers, to be honest. Right, that one and one of these. And we are in business. There we are. Where did it go? Good grief. Where did it go? This is ridiculous, isn't it? Let's do another one. Oh my lord. I didn't even see that disappear out of the cutter. I put it in, didn't I? Let's try again. Oh my goodness. Right. I'll watch it this time. Right. in we go. Probably falling into the drawer or something, I don't know. Let's have a look. It's there it is. Oh, what a relief. I don't know where these things go to be perfectly honest. Right. That is better. Right. Good. We're getting there. Okay, now the teddy. Now to colour the teddy, I just simply, let me just wipe this up a little minute. Just make sure we're clean here. Okay. Okay. To colour the teddy, just popped a little bit of sticky tape behind one of the apertures where he was cut from. I've got two because I'm going to stack. And then I'll pop him in just to keep him still while I colour him. And I've got a couple of colours of brown. I've got, these are Nouveau markers. I've got honeycomb and brown sugar. So brown, not much of him actually is going to show, to be perfectly honest, because he's just going to have his head popping out of the, and his arm popping out of the stocking. Right, a little bit of that and a touch of this. Putting it back in here just keeps it still while I'm colouring. There we go. Done. Now what I did with this little chap was just to accentuate his eyes a little bit by just putting, there are little dots of, you know, impression, but I'm just putting two little dots to sort of reinstate his eyes kind of thing. Okay, now we'll put this one. What I'm going to do, there are embossing type lines on the die cut, and his arm is cut most of the way down, but it's attached at the bottom. So I'm just going to snip that bit, and then his arm can stick out over the top of the stocking like that. Okay, so now I'm going to put a bit of sticky tape on the back of here to attach my little teddy to. Where is he going to go? It's going to be at an angle like that, so I don't want him falling out too much. He's a bit higher up than the other one, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I just want to put a tiny touch of glue on the end of his arm so that it will stick to the stocking and not flap around. So just there. Okay. And then I'll stick the other one behind him just to keep him in place. There he is. He's a bit further out than the other one. He looks a bit anxious to jump out, actually. So now I can just, I'll put some glue on the back of this one. I could have used that glue there. Again, I didn't even think. I use whatever is handy. Okay. Tomorrow we're going down to my daughter's for a couple of days on grandkid duty. She's off to Barcelona for a few days with her company. So we'll be doing the taxi service, Granny and Grandpop's taxi service to and from school pickups. There we go. Okay. Now all I need to do for this one is to put a little bit of string on. I think I'm going to do just a little bit of this shading. I do fancy, but I'm going to use the blender first, and then I'm going to put a little bit of the grey, the feather grey on, just a tad, particularly on this side. That's better. Okay. There Now then, let the dog see the rabbit, my father used to say. Okay, a little bit more adhesive just here, and we're going to put on some twine. This is just baker's twine. This side, did I do that side? No, put the adhesive on the wrong side. There we go, that's the side I want it. I want it to hang up this way, like this. Okay. So I'm going to be AWOL again for a couple of days while I'm down in Bath, but we'll be back on Friday. Wrong scissors. Here's the right scissors. There we go. I keep those scissors for ribbon and twine and all this kind of stuff, so they don't get dulled by paper and card and glue and goodness knows what else. Righty-ho. Now, let's get back to the card itself. Here I've got a panel for my tent folded card. This is a piece of double-sided adhesive, which I'm going to put onto the back of the hessian, of the burlap, or whatever you care to call it, sacking. Don't know which side comes off, it might be the other one. Here we go. I've got the sticky bit in my left hand. I'm going to put this over the burlap, down the middle, comme ça. And then I can either use that as a strengthener for the burlap, or remove this piece altogether and just have the burlap as is. What will happen if I do that is you may see little bits of the sticky in the gaps of the weave of the fabric, but we won't worry about it, I don't think. I'm just making sure it's stuck down. Right, let's just, I will take it off. I will take it off, I think. And I'm hoping I can trim the top and the bottom so that it fits exactly to the size of the panel for the front of the card. Can I get this off? If I can't, we're going to be doing the other thing. I don't know if I can. Let's try somewhere else. Can I get this off? It doesn't want to come. Right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick it directly onto the panel, and then that's going to be fine. Right, for this I will use some of this on the backing. Probably could have just used some sellotape for this, couldn't I? Never mind. Put this onto here. Now I'm going to stick it onto my panel, and I want it sort of about on that right hand side. About there. Okay. Now I'm going to cut these bits off. I just found this piece as was in the drawer, which is why I thought I'd use it. So there we go. Here's my little teddy. And he's going to go on there. That's going to go onto there. I'll put my piece of foam tape down the middle of him, of the stocking rather. Oh, that was the first one. This is the one I've just done, isn't it? Let's do the one I've just done. That was with the solid piece of red card. This one is the coloured one. doesn't matter. Please yourself how you do it, really. These are the scissors for the sticky. There we go. I'll just put a little bit of glue onto the tip of the toe, but I don't know. I don't mind if the rest of it doesn't really stick. That's fine. Right, we will remove the backing. There we go. Just wondering whether to put that down a little bit so that the loop shows. I think I will. Okay, there we are. I don't think I'm going to put any foam tape on the back of this piece. The reason being, because this is quite thick, if I start putting foam tape on this, the thickness of the card will be such that we'll have to start paying extra postage, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to just stick this down directly to the card front using my tape runner, which I find really useful. And the only thing I think I may well do now is to add a sentiment. And I just think something like Noel, or be jolly, or be merry, or something. I will think of what I want to do, and I will add it to my card. I might put a little hook or something there, I don't know. But I think that's a reasonable interpretation of my Icelandic socks. So look out for some more videos based on things that I saw that gave me ideas for cards, and we'll see what fun we can have. Take a look on my Facebook page to find the finished card, or on Instagram, or on the what else do I do? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Those are the three, pretty much. So, as ever, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And it's good to be back. Thanks so much.